Hello everyone, this is our seventh lecture. Today we are going to learn about the shell scripting. As you see, again, I'm here in my home directory and I have some other files than I need to have. For example, this file is here from the last week. If you work on the laboratory computer, you might have someone else's file here. Please remove other files from your computer. Then we will download our own files from our GitLab repository. When you list the files and folders on your home directory in the laboratory computers, you should have these files except this one, and you shouldn't have any other files. Let's first start with telling Git that you are you with git config commands. Git config global username, your username here. Your username must include your student ID underscore your name underscore your surname, and git config user email, whatever your email is, should be written here. Then use your GitLab account to download your own files onto your computer with git clone gitlab.com. Your username here, again, your username should include your student ID underscore your name underscore your surname, and computer programming 2022.git. Type your username again. And your password. You will see that the computer programming 2022 file came here, folder came here from your GitLab account. When you go into that folder, you will see these folders you uploaded before. Okay, then make your lecture 7 folder and go into that lecture 7 folder. When you list, you will see nothing here, but we will make these shell scripts today. Then you will upload these shell scripts to your own GitLab repository. I'm explaining what I did here on my GitHub account. You can have a look at these. After we generate these shell files, you make these shell files. At the end, you will upload these files into your GitLab account. Okay. Today's topic is shell scripting. We can run terminal commands in shell scripts, like making a folder, for example, make dir -p a folder works on the terminal command line as this one. We can create shell scripts with the extension of .sh as shown here, doing whatever we do in command line, like this one. To do that, our first example is the hello.sh. Please open a file so-called hello.sh using our Vim and type in it echo hello world, because if we type here echo hello world, for example, when we press enter, it will print echo hello. When we press enter, it will print this one. I think this exclamation mark gives us an error. Yeah, we can just write hello. Close the quotation. Okay. We can also write this code into an sh file. To that, please open an hello.sh shown in. Write echo hello v hello.sh and then write this one. Then save and close this file. Now I will teach you something. Let me first open echo v hello.sh and let me type echo hello world, then save my file and exit. When I list it, you will see that this file name is in white currently. Convert file name from white to this color. I need to first run chmod plus x and the file name. Currently I converted the color. Doing this, I made this file an executable, so I can run this code with hello2.sh like this one. But if I don't do that, like this one, I cannot run my code with hello. It will say that Z shell permission denied. Okay, I can run this with this command bash hello 3.sh by telling the Z shell that I'm trying to run a bash command. Bash, the shell name, what we use. Or I think we can also run it like this one, because by doing chmod plus x and hello file name, this one, we make this file executable. Then we can execute this file without typing bash here, for example. Okay, we can use not only the hello echo, we can also use all the other comments, almost all the other comments we use on the terminal, like mkdir is shown here, touch is an example, echo is an example again. We can use these arrows to write the output into a file. We can use cat, list, change directory, pwd, print working directory, and etc. Now stop this video here and write this code with the name of comment.sh. v comment.sh. In the first line, we will first print that folder created. Then we type mkdir -p folder. Then it will make a folder with the name of folder. Then we will again print file created, and then we will use touch to create this file.txt in the folder. Then we will write file written, actually is should here, and then is or was, and then we will use this echo command to print this is a line. Then we use these two arrows to write this is a line into this file.txt. Later we will print file content. Then we will use cat to show our file content, which in the file txt, which is located in the folder. Then we will print folder content, and we use ls command to print the folder content shown in the 10th line. Then we use ls, change directory, pwd, and etc. When we run the comments.sh. We first use chmod plus x comments.sh. Then we can run our shell script using this form. Now folder is created. You can check it with ls. This folder is created here. Then file is created, which is the file.txt. A file is written and the file content is, this is a line. Folder content, we check here the inside of this folder and we see that we have file.txt and a sector code here, and compare them with. In the next example, we always use this one as the first line of our code. Okay, I made a typo here. This one should be hash exclamation mark slash bin slash z shell, zsh, not sh. Here in this example we define some variables. We can define variables in our shell scripts. Do that, open variables.sh and then write this code here. Here x is a variable which includes the white string. Y is another variable of the car string. So when we use echo comment to print he has a white car, we can use this $, and we can also use it in this form. We use these curly brackets if we have another character without a space after our variable, like this one, to separate that our variable is y, not y dot. Okay, I'm not sure if the dot breaks or makes a problem here, but like if we want to print he have some white cars, if we do this, save and exit, and when we run this variables.sh after running chmod command, it will tell us that I don't have a variable. You didn't define, you have not defined a variable with the name ys, because we just typed ys and it just prints he have some white and dot. There is no cars here. To type cars here, we can use these curly brackets and then save and exit and run the variable. Cars will. Okay. We can read from the command line. To see that example, open a file with v as input.sh, type here bin z shell, then type here echo, tell me your name, then read name. This read is like input command in Python we learned before. So here in the fourth line it will read from the command line, and here in the fifth line it will print the name, which is a variable, read from the command line to print. Okay, now make chmod plus x input.sh and then type input.sh, tell me your name, write your name here, will print hello Levent. As you see, in any line Levent is written here. We gave the variable name from the command line. we can also write the variables as arguments in Python. Arguments.sh. Write this code, stopping the video. Here we can give our arguments with $1, $2, and some other options are also possible. You can have a look at them on the internet, but these are enough for you to learn about defining arguments into our scripts. After writing this arguments.sh, please save and exit. Then use chmod to make it executable. Then type arguments.sh. We will now first write our name and then our surname. Then when we press enter, it will say that my name is Levent. It will read two different arguments from the command line. If you just type something else here, it will print my name is something else. Okay, whatever you write here, you read, and then it will print in the folder here with the echo command. Now we can make some basic arithmetic operations with shell scripts, but these are not that useful because we can only use integers to make addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. shell scripts with the traditional ways. If we wanna make these arithmetic operations using floating point numbers, that we need more items. We can use Python in the shell scripts. So I gave here 3 different options for addition using XPR. Again, addition using these 2 parentheses, and again addition using this Python code. We can call Python in the command line like this one, Python 3 -c option, 3 plus 5 for it. When we press enter, of course we need to first write here print, then it will print us 8. Okay, because this print is a function in Python to print something outside the Python. We can also add some floating point numbers in Python, 0.2 plus 5.3 for example. And it will give us the output as floating point number. So we use this one here in our shell scripts to calculate with the floating point number. Okay, the template we need to use is this one. We can just change these numbers. We can also define some variables instead of these numbers. As shown here, we can use with these $signs. I gave an example here as math.sh. Now I will open that math.sh. Please stop your video here and write these codes. After writing these codes into math.sh, please make your first line always bin z shell because we use z shell. After writing this, save this math.sh, exit, and then use chmod +x math.sh to make it executable to run like this. Then you press enter, you will see the output of your code. When you open the math.sh, please try to understand what are we doing here. For example, here we define, let's make it larger, bigger for you. here in the third line we define x and y as integers. Then we use expr method in shell scripts to define our value 1 for addition of x and y. Here all the spaces are quite important. If you don't put a space here, your code will give an error. But here there is no need to put spaces to print the addition of x and y. But here, if you don't put one parenthesis like this one, your code will give error. So these are methods to calculate, to make some arithmetic operations using the integers. Okay. Then here in these lines 9th and 10th, I just print the output of value 1 and value 2. I calculated in two different ways here. Then expr and the other method, which is this one, is given here for subtraction, here for multiplication, here for division, here for modulus, and then here I tried to divide 10 by 20, so my output should be 0.5, but because 0.5 is a floating point number, these methods don't work. So here I used this method, which is Python implementation into the shell scripts. Just as I used my command line to calculate something, here I used my two variables x and y here in my 41st line to calculate my val value variable. Then I just print output here. If you read your code like this, and if you run your code again, you will see that the last the penultimate line and the before that line, we should see 0.5 here, but we don't see it, so we use Python to print this 0.5. Okay, and you will see that all these results are integers, not floating. There is also a way like making possible these calculations with floating point numbers. I'm not sure, but you should add something like this, but in the echo command here. But I usually use Python, which makes everything easier. So I'm not giving that method to you. Okay. If you work with integers, you can just use these two methods. If you work with floating point numbers or integers, you can use this method. Okay, this method works for both. If you don't know these two methods, it's fine. You can always use this method to make arithmetic operations in shell scripts. We can use loops in shell scripts. I think this method is one of the most important part of this lecture 7. So because when we use for loops in the shell scripts, we can make many things automatic. We can create lots of files in one command, or we can change lots of files in one command, for example. Now let's open for.sh, loops.sh, sorry, v loops.sh. You will see a long code like 48 lines. I gave here lots of options to use the for loops in shell scripts. Like you can use for I in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you need to put this do here and done here. This is actually, I remove this. This is the for loop scheme in the shell scripts. Whatever you write here, it means it will print in the in this for loop. Okay, you can also write these codes in one line using semicolons like this. It also works like this one. So if you do this, you can make your code like not this long, shorter. The spaces are not important. Like this one, you can write any type. Okay. Please stop the video here. I will show you all the code. And write this code. If you cannot see these in the video, please go to my GitHub, Computer Programming BTU, and the 7th lecture. You will see this picture there, and then you can open this picture, zoom in it, and we'll look at the code and run it. Right? I will run this code. Before running this code, I will use the chmod command. Then I will run this code. Now this is my output. Here in the first 36th line, I just write for e in I in 1 2 3 4 do echo I. So I just print here 1 2 and 4 as shown here 1 2 3. Okay. In the second part of my code after these separator stars, I write 5 to 8 with different way. Like you can write here 1 2 3 4, but you cannot write here 1 2 3 4 to 1000, for example. So you can use this method if you have lots of numbers. If you put curly bracket, your first number, 2 dots, your last number, and then close the curly bracket, you can print from 5 to the you can print from 5 to 8 as given in this example here. We can count numbers like skipping some numbers, and this for here allows you to skip 4 numbers after printing 10, like 10, 14, 18. If we have 22 here, we would see also 22. Not like in Python, shell scripts counts the first number and the last number. Whatever you write here, it will start counting from here, and whatever you write here, it will stop counting from here. Like as you see here, we both have 5 and we have 8 here. If we do this in Python, we wouldn't see 8 here, right? We would see 5, 6, and 7 only. The output of this part from 17th line to 20 is here 10, 14, and 18, because the next number is 22, but we asked shell script to count until 20. We don't see 20 here. Here we can also use this sec method, SEQ, which is the sequence, which is the acronym of sequence. Then it will print from 20 to 24, 4 numbers, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 25, 5 numbers actually, when we use this SEQ option. But be careful here that if you don't use a $sign like this one, you should use curly brackets. If you use a $sign like this one, you should use normal parentheses. All right. This one means we are running another command here. You can also type here ls, for example. If you write here ls, then it will do ls in the working directory, and it will print all the files. Then your list here will be the file names. We will see that in this example here. Okay, when we use this dollar and normal parentheses, it means we are running another command. Now we write here 10, 20 and 4 by 4 we counted. We can also use this in this format like this. I is from 24, there's a semicolon here, I until I is smaller than 28 or equal to 28, again a semicolon. Increase the I plus plus means increase the I one by one. Then according to this part of our shell script, from 31 to 34, we will see 28, 33, sorry, here we will see 24, 5, 6, 7 and 8 as we write the boundaries here. We can also increase I 5 by 5 here. We just use dollar curly bracket I curly bracket to increase our last value of I plus 5. It will first print 28. Then when it comes here, it will add 5 to 28 and it will found 33 as shown here. Then it will go back and increase the I 5 more to obtain the 38. As I told, we can use any commands. Here, if we use this $sign with normal parentheses, here we are working on our lecture 7 directory. And the folders in our lecture 7 directory can be listed with the ls command. So when we write for I in $ls, here it will make a list of folders, then it will write their name with this echo command here. I have a folder arguments.sh, comments.sh. You don't have this conditions.sh because this is our next part of our lecture. Folder hello2, hello3, hello, and etc. These are the folders in the directory that I am working on. This is the for loops. We can use the for loops in different ways. I think this one is my favorite one. You can also use this one with multiple variables. Our variable is I here. Let me show it. V loops.sh, or let's open v loops 2.sh and then right here for I is equal 0. Let's type 20. J is equal 10. If I smaller than 22, 25, and if J smaller than 12, for example, smaller and equal than 12, increase I 1 by 1 and increase J 1 by 1. Do echo $I and $J. Done. You can put our first line here with hashtag exclamation mark bin ZSA. Then you can save your loops2.sh and exit. Make it executable. Then you can run your loops2.sh. I'm checking what problem. You don't need to do this part. I'm checking what is the problem. Okay, J is, it should be 12 because there is no option between 10 to 2. It doesn't print anything surely. Then when we run, it will print 10. This is 20 and the J is 10. I is 21 and the J is 11. I is 22 and the J is 12. You can like make lots of variations, like you can change this code. You can do whatever you want, like you can also add them to each other in Python surely. We can here Python. Because this is another command, we need to run. We'll add 10 to 20 and find 30. This one to this one. Now here, this is a command, but this echo is another command. So to run a command in another command, we need to use this dollar and parenthesis sign in the 10th line. Right? This is the loops. We can jump to the conditions. Now here we can use the if condition to print if an int, if a string is equal to another string. Let me show you this one. We again start with this line into our conditions.sh file. Here we define a string with a equals some str. We divide our first line with this semicolon. Then we write another string which is exactly the same as the a, because we are checking if they are same here. Then we just write an if statement here. If square bracket, there's a space here, $a, which is this one, space equals space $b, space, and then I close the square bracket. Just as in the for loops, we write for something, do, then comment, done. Here in the if statements, we use if, then something, phi. Okay, the opposite of if here. Here we can just echo a equal b, because a is equal to b. This one is printed out. Then we used here other variables. X is 10, y is 10, and to check if they are equal, we use this sign -eq, and if you put here equal numbers, you will see that x equal y from this line, int 1. Then in the 17th line, we check if x is greater than or equal to y. When we run this part, we will see x is greater than or equal to y, because x is equal to y. If we want to check if x is less than or equal to y, we can use this -le option. It is also printed because x is equal to y here in this case. And here in the 28th line, we define z and t variables as 11 and 9. And then Here we check if z is greater than or equal to t. Z is greater than t, so this is printed. Less than or equal to z. T is less than or equal to z. This is also printed. These are just strings. We check the condition here in this line. Okay, whatever we write in the quotation marks, it doesn't work like code. Okay, and the other last options are greater than and less than. Please have a look at the output and compare these. I want to show something else here. When we use shell scripts in the Python, these spaces are important. Most of you get some errors using tabs instead of spaces, right? So those spaces are important. When we use if statements or for loops or while loops in Python, we need to have some spaces here. But in the shell scripts, we don't need those spaces. Even if we put, it doesn't matter. You can see the difference between this output x equal y here and this output x is greater than or equal to y. Both are printed. We have some spaces here and we don't have. So it doesn't matter. For loops we made, if conditions we made, and the last part of this lecture is sed command, sed command. Jump to the next video, please.